What's going on, guys? Today we're in Miami, Florida at the Design District, and obviously we're surrounded by millionaires, designer stores, and supercars. So we're going to be asking people how much they make and what do they do for a living. So obviously we're in the Design District. It's a pretty luxurious area, and to be a shopper here, you got to have some type of money and be making a living. So what do you do for a living?
Yeah, I work at Model E and Ford Motor Company, which is the battery electric vehicle space.
Okay, and that's something that you just got into, or have you been doing this for a while now?
I've been at Ford for almost 4 years, but I joined Model E about a year ago.
About a year. Okay. So if I were to like step into this field with no experience, how much could I expect to make as a starter?
I think it really varies. If you're starting as an entry-level employee, I think you can probably make somewhere between like 70 to 80K.
Okay, and you don't need a college degree, or you need a college degree for what you do as well?
In my specific space, I think my college degree really helps with what I do. You know, I don't know if Model E hires for people that don't have this type of degree that I have. I studied experience architecture, so like user experience and designing digital, hybrid, and physical experiences for people. So I think my degree really helps with it.
And how long did it take you to get that degree?
I went to a 4-year university. I went to Michigan State.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And if you had to give advice to your younger self when you were studying and all of that, like what advice would you give to yourself to help the progress go a lot better?
Networking is everything. Like, I think the power of the people around you is so strong, and meeting people and just making connections is going to get you really far in life.
And let's say like ballpark number, how much do you make at the moment since you actually have experience?
Ballpark, I make like between 110, 120.
Okay, and how old are you if you don't mind me asking?
I just turned 26.
Oh wow, awesome. So you're doing great.
Yep.
Well, thank you for your time. Going on. My name is Jasen.
How you doing? I'm Ali.
Ali, nice to meet you. You know, I'm trying to learn a little bit about your career because obviously we're in the Design District. It's a luxurious area. There's a lot of money to be spent around here in these designer stores. So I want to know, like, what do you do for a living?
So me personally, I'm a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
And I just graduated out of college, so still a bit broke, but I make good money.
Yeah, I feel you. So let's say I wanted to step foot into this career.
Yeah.
What advice would you have to give me to like help me progress a bit faster than the average person?
If you wanted to do more, I'd say you need to do more than just what's asked of you. So you'll be asked just to do the very basic things while you're in college. If you want to step out and stand out, you need to show that you know something outside of what you learned in class. It's not hard. You can just hop on the internet. It takes you about 10 minutes. You're good. You can figure something out.
And to like get into this career, obviously you need a college degree. Like, how long did you go to college for?
So I went to get my bachelor's degree and my master's, so it took me 5 years to get both of them done.
Oh wow, 5 years? Okay, that's awesome. And if you had to give like a ballpark figure as to how much a person could make like stepping foot into this field, what would it be?
So it depends on exactly what you're trying to get into because it's a pretty wide field. But right out of college, you can expect about at least 80. If you have your master's degree, it's anywhere between 90 to above 6 figures. And once you get a couple years of experience, then you make well above 6 figures. Get some good money out of the top.
Okay, and is this something you were passionate about when you stepped foot into it, or you just jumped into it to like get a career done?
No, I personally really like mechanical engineering. So I like that kind of stuff. I'm a bit of a nerd, but there's a lot going on, and you don't have to just stick in front of a computer all day. I know a lot of people that do their degrees in engineering, and then they go into business. So it's a great way to just prove that you know what you're working with.
All right, that's awesome. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. So obviously we're in the Miami Design District, and it's a pretty luxurious area. So I was wondering, like, to be a shopper here, what do you do for a living?
I design cars.
Oh, you
for the Ford Motor Company.
Okay.
So I'm responsible for color materials, which is exterior color, interior color, fabrics, finishes, leathers, woods, everything you see, touch inside and outside the vehicle.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's what I do.
Okay, and for someone to get into that, do they need a college degree, or could you just?
Yes, you need a college degree from design, whether it's interior design, architecture, automotive, crafts, and wide product design, a wide range. In fact, we're hiring. If you know someone who wants a job for real.
Oh, okay. Well, let's say like I were to try to get into this field and I got my degree. As a beginner, how much could I expect to make?
With a degree and right out of college?
Yeah.
Around 70.
Oh wow, fresh out of college? No experience?
Fresh out of college.
Okay, that's interesting. And how long have you been doing this for?
Over 30 years.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
So, we're in the design district, a lot of designer stores, a lot of money to be spent out here. I want to know, what do you do for a living?
I do IT for school districts.
Okay. And like, if I were to step foot into this career, how much could I expect to make?
Depending on it's based on longevity, what degrees you have, but for information technology, it's mostly based on certificates you have.
Okay.
So you could range anywhere from 50,000 upwards of like 120 starting.
And this is something you needed a college degree for, right?
Yes.
And how long did you go to college for?
So I went for 4 years for my bachelor's degree.
And like, after you graduated from college, did you find a career like right out the door, or?
No, getting into the field was hard. It required me taking certifications for specifics because
Okay.
information technology ranges widely based on you could do networking, you could do programming, you could do engineering and design.
Okay.
So it took me about 2-3 years.
All right. And if you have to give advice to your younger self to help the progress go a lot more smooth, what advice would you have to give?
I would say definitely start taking certifications earlier. Definitely start outreach. Definitely start networking.
Okay.
Ahead of time.
And if you had to give advice to my younger audience over here who's trying to get into this field, like, is there anything in specific you tell them, like, besides hard work and that type of stuff?
Besides the hard work stuff, I mean, in terms of information technology, it's definitely going more towards software. It's really going away from hardware. It's going into cloud computing. So that's pretty much where the future is headed. AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Hosting. So,
Gotcha. And how long have you been in this field for?
so I've been in the field technically for about 9 years now.
9 years. Oh,
Yep.
That's awesome, man.
Yep.
Well, thank you for your time, Joe. I
Pleasure meeting
appreciate
you.
it. Well, obviously, we're in Miami, Florida, and this is one of the more rich areas. So I was wondering, what do you do for a living?
I'm a community organizer.
Community organizer.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long did it take you to get into that?
I started probably right out of college.
Right out of college? So is it like something that you have to go for 2 years, 4 years?
No, it's more about working with people in neighborhoods or communities where people want to get together and change things. So there's some
Okay.
people that do it that never went to any school, and some people that have a PhD. It's more about how you relate to people.
Okay. So did you do a lot of volunteering to get into that field?
Yeah. Often
Okay.
you do volunteering first.
And this is
It's
something-
not necessarily like a lucrative field. I'm window shopping here in the fashion district.
Gotcha. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's say like I want to step foot into that.
Uh-huh.
What would I have to do to kind of like get my foot through the door to, be introduced to the right audience?
I think you'd want to find something that you care about, something that you feel is wrong and needs changing or could be better in the world, and that's whether it's racism and police brutality or pollution or something you want to see changed, and then find some group of people that's working on it. And
Gotcha.
kind of start coming around and making yourself involved. And often people sort of like start volunteering and then become indispensable, and that's how they get into doing that work.
Okay.
People also go to school in related fields, but it's much more important like how you relate to people and what you do than what your degrees are.
Gotcha. So it's more of a passion than a job at that point.
Yeah,
Okay.
It often starts as a passion, but there's actually always a need for like more people doing that work. Like
Okay.
any organization that's doing that is usually looking for somebody else to do it who's passionate about it.
Okay. And in a career like that, how much could one expect to make to like start off?
Starting off, probably. Often people are like involved in community and doing it for free and as a volunteer. And
Okay.
as people take jobs, often I don't know, probably in the like 40,000s or so, and then
Okay.
kind of goes up from there as people like get more experienced.
Okay. And it's like a sustainable field to step into.
Yeah, it's something people do as a living, and like anything else, people that are more experienced and better at it. There's also a lot that crosses with like communications and media and social media,
Gotcha.
and so there's sort of relating to people directly and relating through media and design, and often that's in demand a lot because of the way the world works now, and often like a little more on the lucrative side of the profession. Not lucrative, but like often those positions
yeah.
are a little higher paid.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And if you had to give advice to your younger self to help you progress faster into this field, what would you say to your younger self?
I would say to my younger self to like be choosy about where I go and where I put my energy, because there's always a lot more work to do. So to like really think about it.
Got you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate your
All
time.
right.
Obviously, we're in Miami, the design district, and it's a pretty luxurious area. And to be shopping over here, you got to have some type of income. So I was wondering, what do you do for a living?
I'm just a college student right now. I'm actually here for spring break, so
Okay, so
don't
you're
have
just
much
a
money
tourist.
to spend.
I feel you. Well, like you're a full-time student, or like you have a job on the side too?
I have a job on the side, but doesn't pay too well. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Are you into designer clothes, or?
I don't really know.
I mean, for the most part, bro. Like you're going to college, so like, what are you studying at the moment?
I'm a business major.
Business major.
Yeah.
And like, if I were to step foot into like being a business major, how much could I expect to make into like a career like that?
I mean, depending on what you end up doing, it's a big major, but you could make $100,000 if you're lucky.
What are your goals personally? Like, if you had to give yourself some type of advice to boost you, or like, what would you say you're kind of working towards at the moment?
I'm working to be a financial advisor, which would be something that would pay more, so that would
Okay.
be good.
Gotcha.
As of right now, I'm just kind of looking around.
Okay, I feel you. Well, thank you,
Yeah.
bro. I appreciate your
Yeah,
time.
nice.
You heard it here, folks. A lot of these people are working some pretty impressive jobs, designing cars, working in mechanical engineering, dealing with the environment and the community. There are so many jobs out there that you could be progressing in, and I highly suggest taking a look into all of them.